Today we're going to be talking about value structures. Now there's many different types of value. There's value that is for purely emotional content. There's value that emphasizes texture. What we're going to be talking about today is value as it relates to light and how light falls across a surface. So value created by light, as we're seeing in this photograph, is usually defined by one dominant light source, either the sun or an artificial light source. But here, it's likely to be the sun hitting the subject at a raking angle, and the highlights of that revealing all of the detail and beauty of the photograph through this intricate series of interlocking values and tones. So value, really simply, is the range of dark to light across a surface, and in this case, revealed to us through light. So light really defines everything we see. We would be in a dark room, basically, looking here, and as soon as the light goes on, we'll see all of the objects revealed to us that are in our field of vision. Now, this is a single light source falling on these white objects. And as you move the light source, you'll notice it reveals different aspects of the structures. It also affects the mood, the way you perceive the depth of the space. So light reveals all of these elements, and especially value. The value is really defining these shapes. Similarly to this drawing, where the artist has used a single light source to create this dramatic highlight, and everything that falls away from the light source falls into this subtle variation of grays and blacks and create this beautiful sense of volume. Value in this drawing is created really by this interlocking series of values of an enormous range of grays to blacks to whites. You can see this is also a drawing where the artist set up a still life dominated more or less by a single light source, and you can follow it very easily through the drawing. You'll also notice that there's a texture to the drawing, and most successful value drawings dealing with light allow the sensitivity of the artist dealing with materials to work with the nature of the paper. So if the paper has a particular texture to it, as you're drawing with your materials, you'll be sensitive to that texture, and you'll work with it to include that into the final view of your drawing. Value refers also to color. Value is not just isolated to black and white, but you'll be doing in future drawings coming up very soon, you'll be needing to translate color objects into black and white. So while the red box on the left is incredibly vibrant, that translates into a very dark and saturated gray and black when you translate that into black and white. One of the great things about working with light and value is the way light falls over shapes is very reliable and dependable, no matter what the scale of the object is. So the light that's falling over the sphere on the right side and falling into shadow slowly, that pattern would be essentially the same on the moon or some massive other spherical object. So they're very dependable rules that apply to light and the way light falls over objects. We'll be talking about one of the most important aspects, which is trying to find the form and using value to describe the forms we're looking at. The thing called the line of termination in an object is something that reveals to you the underlying form of the object. And in this case, and in all cases with the line of termination, it's that point at which a light hits the object and that object's shape is shifting so that it's turning away from the light source and falling into shadow. So that is an important aspect of things to recognize whether you're drawing a human figure or whether you're drawing a simple still life object. The rules apply the same. We will be looking at various types of light and how they fall on objects. Cast shadow and reflected light are very important aspects to the drawing and reveal form. Most of the drawings we've been working on up to this point, we've been using what we would call usually a tripod grip because we've been focusing on contour and cross-contour lines. What I'd like you to do in the upcoming exercises is try also the overhand grip. And what that is it allows you to expose more of the pencil lead to the paper, and it gives you a broader area of tone as you work with the drawing. So I'd ask you to go to the next chapters and please watch the demonstrations I have for each section. And there's some important information about basically tips on how to get the best tones and how to recognize value in objects that you're looking at.